Tonight on CTV News, racial slurs are yelled outside Allison Hall.
And a Fort Collins staple is saying goodbye to its 10-year establishment.
And we give you the rundown of all the homecoming festivities taking place this weekend.
Good evening, Rams, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Lauren Orcutt.
And I'm Bella Roberts. Following a series of discrimination events this semester, a racial slur was yelled out to bystanders from two Allison Hall residents last Friday. CSU PD was called to the scene and has identified the students according to the Collegian. In an email sent to Allison Hall residents, the email said, quote, "University Housing has chosen to share this incident with the Allison community, not to pile on during a very difficult time on our campus, rather to call out this behavior and make it clear that it is not okay at CSU. Following up with two other discrimination incidents, CSU PD is asking anyone with information relating to the graffiti drawn in the IM Field bathrooms and the swastika that was carved at Aggie Village to contact them at 970-491-6425.
The City Council of Fort Collins recently passed a resolution urging President Donald Trump to treat immigrants at the south border humanely and reunite them with their families. This resolution is part of the city's attempt to make immigrants feel more comfortable in approaching government officials, coming after months of pressure to denounce the migrant detention camps and separation policies. The resolution calls for the Trump administration to make changes. A full list of points in the resolution can be found at the Rocky Mountain Collegian.
Colorado State University's Research Foundation bought land in July where Sus Sushi is located. According to the Colorado and CSU Research Foundation bought the land on Prospect Road for $1.15 million back in July. The sushi restaurant now plans to close that location at the end of October. The restaurant is closing after 10 years at its location on West Prospect.
So far, CSU will hold the lease to the property, just as usual. So, Bella, what do you think about this closing of this super popular sushi restaurant?
Well, Lauren, I'm actually really sad. I'm a big sushi fan, and Sa is a great restaurant.
Yeah, and it's really convenient for students, especially because they could just walk right down the street to it.
Colorado State University's research spending has just broke a record $398.5 million for the 2019 fiscal year. That's a 6.3% increase from last year alone and approximately $100 million increase in the last decade. There were increases at 29% for sponsored awards, 26% sponsored expenditures, 23% for industry awards, and 36% in proposals for more. For more information, you can visit source.colostate.edu.
Larimer County forest officials discovered the invasive tree beetle, the emerald ash borer, in Larimer County for the first time. The infestation was found on the private land in unincorporated Larimer County, just south of Berthoud, and are testing other trees in the area for infestations. Officials are still unsure if the beetles were brought here accidentally or if people migrated them here on their own. The invasive species presence was first identified by an expert on the bug species from CSU. This is the third report of the invasive species being in Colorado, the first two coming from Broomfield and Westminster. Berthoud residents are encouraged to evaluate the trees on their property for the beetle. Officials advise evaluating the status of the tree once now and again in the spring.
Colorado Representative Ken Buck will seek re-election next year. According to the Colorado Senate, Buck is planning on launching his re-election campaign after rumors that he couldn't run. Buck's Eastern Colorado Congressional District is a Republican stronghold and doesn't have a strong chance of losing the district to Democrats.
City Council approved plans to build over 400 housing units in northeastern Fort Collins. This comes after the council had originally rejected the plans because the proposal wasn't sustainable enough. In Tuesday's city council session, council member Emily Gorgel changed her vote. The development will be funded by the property taxes of houses, and developers will make all of the housing more sustainable, which helped sway the vote.
Last Friday, hundreds gathered in Old Town to mark the end of A. Week-long climate protests that took place in cities across the U.S. and across the world. Many of the activities for this climate strike are students and they have pledged to skip school on Fridays until action on climate change is taken by governments across the world. Last week, over 4 million people took place in the climate strikes around the globe.
It is finally starting to feel like fall, and as the temperatures drop, heaters turn on and utility bills tend to skyrocket. As of Tuesday, Fort Collins Utilities customers are now on a new schedule for time-of-day electricity pricing, where the cost of using your lights, heat, and stovetops will triple between 5 and 9 in the afternoon. Now, don't be too discouraged. There are ways to minimizing your bills during these peak hours, like doing your laundry in the morning and using your dishwasher in the morning as well. The city says you can also switch to LED light bulbs that will last longer and put some change back into your pocket.
With this weekend's homecoming festivities, expect traffic delays around CSU and in the greater Fort Collins area. With activities taking place all weekend, heavy traffic inbound on I-25 is expected, as well as increased traffic around the city, particularly on College Avenue. Friday's homecoming parade will be bringing road closures at Laurel Street westbound from Mason Street to Washington Avenue. The parade will begin at 4:30 in the afternoon outside Canvas Stadium and wind through campus to Laurel Street. Now let's bring on Krista McAllister and see student reactions.
With the fall feelings in the air, it is the perfect time to start getting hyped for the homecoming this upcoming weekend. And I went out onto our beautiful campus to ask the student body what they're most excited for about the upcoming homecoming festivities. What are you most excited for about homecoming weekend?
I'm really excited about the Greek week, the Greek life dance that we've got going on tonight. I'm going to be dancing, so it should be a lot of fun.
Definitely going out with friends for the football game. I'm excited for the game and the bonfire. It's just such a fun time.
So do you have any plans? Like, are you going to any of the events that CSU's holding?
I'm hoping to get to the parade on Friday.
I recall the bonfire pretty good. Lighting of the A, that sounds neat.
So are you going to be attending any of the homecoming events?
I would love to. I'm not 100% sure if I can make it. Part of the reason is I'm a very focused student, try my best to stay on top of everything.
So are you planning on going to any of the events that are happening for homecoming or family weekend?
Nope.
And have you ever gone to any of them?
Nope.
I'm definitely going to the game. I don't know how long I'll stay, but I'm definitely going.
Do you have any like pre-game rituals or anything that you're excited for?
Well, I'm on the cheer team, so we plan on getting there extra early, and we have the pep rally.
My friends and I have some morph suits, so we throw those on, run around the tailgates, try to cause a ruckus.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
Go Rams! Go Rams! Go Rams! Go Rams!
Go Rams!
People should be involved in things. It's healthy. It's good.
So this is only my second year here at CSU, and I attended the homecoming festivities last year, but still kind of getting around to all of them. So based off of your past experiences, do you have any suggestions for what I should be attending this year?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, Bella?
Well, actually, I've been super interested in the 5K. I don't know if it's too late to sign up, but if it's not, then I definitely want to try.
For sure.
You should also go to the bonfire. It's one of my favorite events, and I'm definitely going to miss it next year after I graduate. So
Yeah, no, I attended the bonfire last year. Just me and a bunch of friends went out. We were all listening to the live music that they had there, dancing. It was so much fun. So definitely gonna head out there again, hopefully this year.
yeah, hopefully we'll see you there.
Definitely.
Sounds good. Well, that's all we have for news tonight, but stay tuned because James has your homecoming weather forecast, and Corey will be telling us about the 2 plays to look out for at this weekend's football game.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm James Hall, and I'm here to tell you what it's like on campus as we speak right now. 62 degrees, 6-mile-per-hour wind out of the east-southeast. Mostly clear, there might be a cloud or two, but it's nighttime, who really cares? Sunset is at 6:39 p.m. What was it like on campus today? Well, not a cloud in the sky. Absolutely beautiful, doesn't look like fall at all. Still got a bunch of green on the trees, people hanging out in the sun in between classes. But as you can see, it is changing. Fall is on its way, even if there are still some lively plants with bees buzzing around, trying to make it last a little longer. You can see in other parts of campus, it is wilting. And that means fall is on its way, but it doesn't really look like it for tomorrow, does it? 78 degrees for the high, 42 for the low, and then we're talking about wind, about the same, 6 miles per hour out of the south, and sunset's just 1 minute later. So what do we got for homecoming? Parade. Not the game yet, we're at the parade. We got 78 degrees at 4 o'clock when the parade starts, and 70 degrees by the time the fireworks start, so you might need a light jacket if you want it, but not really necessary. For the lows coming up tonight, we have 43 in Fort Collins, 42 in Denver. Out in the east, about the same. In the west, little colder. We can see there are plenty of temperatures in the mountains that are below freezing, so that means fall and winter obviously on their way. For the highs tomorrow, looking more like summer still. 75 in Fort Collins, 81 in Denver, 80 in Grand Junction, it even gets to 70s around Vail and Craig. Same on the west side. So, 5-day. We got 75 tomorrow, feeling a little bit more like fall over the weekend, 67, 64, but it's nothing but sunshine the entire time. What are we going to see while the Rams are on the field? 67 at tailgate by the time that starts, and it just starts to come down from there. 64 by the time they open, 55 by the time the game starts, 47 at halftime, and by the game ends, 44 degrees. It is going to be quite chilly. However, it is going to be clear during the game, but CSU has a bit of a dark cloud above their head. What do you have to say about that?
Man, well, I think that you're right in that it just kind of, the attitude feels a bit glum after losing a close one that they held on for 3 quarters against Utah State. So I could see that dark cloud really showing up over that stadium. But what do you think they have to change going into this game?
I'd like to see the defense really get shored up a little bit. They're getting ran all over. It'd be nice to see the front line kind of stiffen up quite a bit. What do you think?
Well, first off, I think that my shirtless painted like gold is going to be a little rough at the 44 degrees. So maybe I'll wear a jacket instead. And as for the game, I'm thinking, yeah, cut off the big plays that CSU defense like to give up. I think that they're in that game.
Stay tuned for more from Corey here at CTV.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Happy homecoming week, Rams! I'm Corey Odom, and this is Corey's Countdown. It's 3 top sports stories here at CSU, 2 top players to look out for this homecoming against San Diego State, and 1 minute of supreme mayhem, so let's have some fun. 3 top stories! You know what time it is. It's time to talk about that number 16 ranked CSU women's volleyball team. They went up to Laramie on Tuesday to fight in the border war versus Wyoming, and it really was a battle. Wyoming pushed the Rams to their limits, forcing CSU into a 5th set for just the 2nd time this season. Wyoming found a lot of success feeding the ball to star middle blocker Jackie McBride, as well as blocking CSU well at the net. CSU isn't a team that shies away from a fight, though, especially not Brianna Runnels. Runnels helped the Rams come from behind and win that 5th set, recording a record-breaking 29 kills, and the most modern kills in this era. This killer performance wasn't the only accomplishment for the Knights for that Ram commander. Runnels also reached over 1,000 career kills. I had a chance to talk to Runnels after the game, and here's what she had to say about that crazy performance.
I feel like I'm a player who always wants to step up and be the person that my team can trust. So I was just going out there playing the game, and my teammates just trust me to kill the ball.
Runnels will be welcoming a new face to the women's volleyball team as of today. Sonia Newcomb will be joining the Rams as a volunteer coach. Newcomb has never coached at the collegiate level before, but that does not mean that she's new to the sport. Newcomb has played on the United States national team as recently as 2017 and played professionally. Newcomb, a 2009 second-team All-American outside hitter, has played for 10 different countries since graduating from Oregon. She should be able to give a wildly different perspective and help all the players who might be looking to play professionally after college. Newcomb may have been a star for many different countries, but CSU Women's Golf has stars from different countries. At the Molly Collegiate Classic in Portland, Oregon, 2 stars began to form. One is Andrea Bergdotir, a freshman from Gothenburg, Sweden. The Swede would lead the Rams with a score of 231, placing her 33rd in that tournament. Not to be upstaged, sophomore Saga Trostadottir from Reykjavik, Iceland, finished just 1 stroke behind the Swede and led the team, averaging 4.3 strokes on par 4s. She also led the team with 36 pars. That's versus Bergdotir with 34. This young duo led the team to a 9th place finish. We got our 2 top players. That's right, the balloons around campus do have a purpose. It's homecoming on Saturday, and CSU is taking on the San Diego State Aztecs. The Aztecs are coming off a bye week, so coincidentally, the last thing both teams have done is lose to the Utah State Aggies. CSU, who's giving up almost 240 yards on the ground per game, may have dodged a bullet named senior running back Juwan Washington. Washington, who left the UCLA game September 7th with an ankle injury, doesn't seem 100% yet, according to head coach Rocky Long. So CSU will likely be going against backup tandem Jordan Bird and Chance Bell. Bird and Bell have played serviceably well in the Washington's absence, especially versus New Mexico State, where they both ran for over 100 yards each and both scored. CSU wants to keep them down. In the only loss of the year, the Aztecs ran for under 100 total yards versus the Aggies, with Bell taking a majority of those steps and recording just 63 yards. CSU, who played their best defense last week, will look to continue the trend and score their 2nd home victory of the season. That's right, it's time for the 1 Minute of Mayhem. You heard it here. It's time for you to all peer into my brain. But don't worry, it's only for 1 minute. In that time, I'll try to answer as many questions as possible without ever having seen them before. So let's get started. All right, question number 1, Rams or Seahawks? I'm going to go with the Seahawks. Rams just came getting obliterated by the Buccaneers. Rams probably out of it. Next question, will Dwayne Haskins bounce back? He's put in a terrible situation. It seems like the Redskins don't even want him to succeed, so probably not. No, next question, is Mike Bobo the problem for CSU? I don't know, it's tough to say because he definitely has a part of it as a coach, but I think that the problems aren't squarely on his shoulders. Next question, who's your World Series dark horse? Well, for dark horse, it can't really be the Dodgers. So it's tough. I'll go with the Rays. We're going with the Rays for the dark horse. Next question. Will Stephon Diggs actually be traded? No way. They said that he wanted to, and then they were like, yeah, but he won't be, though. Next question. How would you fix the Broncos? 1, I would be less sucky. Next question. When will Saquon be back? They're saying against New England, so next Thursday. Next question. Where will Jalen Ramsey end up? I'm thinking that he'll end up with New England because everyone takes everyone. Next question. Will LeBron win another championship? Probably. The guy's the beast. He does everything he can. Next question. When will CSU have another Pro Bowl game? Probably not this year, but soon. Next question. Will DK Metcalf live up to the hype? It's impossible for him to do that because it was too high. Yeah! Woo! Sorry, that might have been a bit much, but I did not think that would do that. So that was hype for me, and I hope it was hype for you. But next up, we have some even more hype, as we have entertainment talking about the Quiet No More choral celebration with Kristen McAllister. So stick around.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
What's poppin', Rams? My name is Kristen McAllister, and I'm back on this lovely Thursday evening to cover all of your spicy entertainment needs. So let's get into it. This weekend is the Fort Collins First Friday Art Walk. 25 artists in Old Town will be staying open late this Friday to show off their art, talk with visitors, and let art lovers interact with their displays. Visitors can enjoy the self-guided walking tour on the first Friday of each month from 6 to 9 at night. And these artists are fantastic, so I'm sure they won't have a problem drawing a crowd. Many of us have accidentally driven to Wyoming after missing our interstate exits. And this weekend, the tables will be turned and the residents of Wyoming will intentionally make their way to Fort Collins to partake in the 307 Wyoming Appreciation Weekend. Downtown Fort Collins is hosting Experience Old Town from the 4th through the 6th of the month to celebrate Wyoming residents. Different shops, restaurants, and retailers will be offering specials and discounts for those visiting from Wyoming. And this event will just serve as a way to show our neighbors to the north that they are appreciated in Fort Collins. From Denver to Carnegie Hall and now to Fort Collins, 2 Denver choirs have been traveling across the country spreading a message that they hold dear to their hearts, the story of Stonewall. This is the world we create.
Last Saturday, the Denver Women's Chorus and the Denver Gay Men's Chorus came together at the University Center for the Arts to tell a unique story through means of music. These choirs have been traveling all over the country, performing a choral celebration of the Stonewall riots for the 50th anniversary of this event.
I think it's really hard to yell and scream at people that are singing at you about coming together, finding commonality, and celebrating our differences instead of seeing that as a wall.
The Stonewall riots were a series of demonstrations by the LGBTQ+ community against the police raid at the Stonewall Inn in Manhattan, New York City. The concert was broken into 2 acts, each containing music that told a different part of the story.
So it really starts off with this prologue of, who are you, where have you been, where are you going? And then it actually creates the drama of the historical events. And in the middle part, it's, what happened as a result of this? So you see how that was such an important moment in LGBTQ history, and then looking forward to the future.
Besides wanting to share the history of the LGBTQ+ community, this group also wanted to share an important message.
I think everybody has their challenging moments or their Stonewall moment, and so it's so important to be able to do a work and show what people have overcome, and be able to say, if you have something in your life you need to overcome, think of the people that have gone before you and laid that groundwork for you.
Everyone involved in this concert was passionate about the music, the emotions, and the change that they are creating in the world. Disney and Pixar's Coco is not only a cute movie that took me on an emotional roller coaster, but it also serves to represent Mexico's national holiday, Dia de los Muertos. The Global Village Museum of Arts and Cultures in Fort Collins is showcasing the Day of the Dead altars to pay homage to this holiday. The exhibit opens tomorrow, October 4th, from 11 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon, and it will be on display through November 2nd.
The exhibit only costs $5 to get into, but this is a slight price to pay to learn more about this unique holiday. Using current technology, scientists have only been able to observe about 5% of our universe. And you can become a part of this discovery on Saturday, October 5th at the Fort Collins Museum of Discovery. The museum is hosting Astronomy Day 2019 from 1 to 5 in the afternoon. Participants can learn about constellations, safely look at the sun through a solar telescope, and do some nighttime sky viewing. Prices for this event are included in the admission to the museum. If you've ever wanted to have the cooking skills of Gordon Ramsay, but with the relationship of Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, you can get your start by learning how to create a meal at Ginger & Baker. This cafe is offering a Harvest Moon date night cooking class where couples can learn to make a full meal. This Saturday, October 5th, from 5:30 to 8:30 at night, couples can join together to make food that even your grandmother would be proud of. This event costs $150 per couple, and the participants must be over 21 years old. Included in this price, however, is hands-on instruction from a Ginger & Baker chef, a meal that you cook, and a recipe packet with the menu items from the class. And of course, memories that last you a lifetime. Well, Rams, that's all the time we have for tonight, but make sure you tune in on Monday to see all the lovely people talking about your favorite sports. I'm Kristen McAllister. Have a great night.